Hi, this is Retta, and I'm here to demonstrate how to make a shape card in Silhouette Studio. I know when you use die cuts, you hung it off the edge and only cut part way. In a way, we're doing the same thing, except we're taking all the guesswork out of it as well. So I'm going to start with an oval shape. I want to make it a certain size, so I'm going to make it 4 inches wide. You can see that, and 5.25 inches high. Now, what I'm looking at when I'm doing this, as I'm drawing it, is these sizes on the side and the bottom of the shape. Now that I've got the shape I want and the size I want, I'm going to duplicate these. Just a second here. Where's my duplicate? Anyway, we can go to copy, paste, paste. Okay, so that pasted 3 shapes on my circle here. You know what? There is one thing that is different. Because I had used this earlier and I made a score line, my outline of this shape is not a solid line anymore. And I want it to be. I want it to be a solid line. So I'm going to select these and change them to a solid line because I won't need the dashed one until I make a score line. Now, this one here is going to be the face card of the card that we're going to make. I'm going to hit a different color here. Let's hit let's hit a little bit darker. Then these two are going to be our card bases. Now, the main thing to remember when we're dealing with these two is right now we need them to be exactly equal at the top and the bottom, exactly where they're at. So I'm going to hit a line to the top. Now they're aligned, they're all right there. I'm going to move this here shape or front card back a ways. Now I'm going to select these two at the same time, and I'm going to move them down a little bit so you can see a little better what I'm doing. I'm going to go over here and select a rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle across the top of these two. Now, when you're subtracting a shape from another shape, you can only use the one shape that's on top and the one shape on the bottom. I cannot subtract that rectangle from both of them. So I need to duplicate this rectangle again. Let's change the color of this one so we can see it a little better. Let's make it yellow-green. And then we're going to hit copy, paste, and I'm going to take this one. I just want this one, and look at the lines on these. That line is not staying solid for all of these lines, so I need to change them. There we go. Now they're both the same. I'm going to scoot this up here, and the one thing I want to do is make sure they're even. So again, I'm going to align the top, and I'm going to change this one's color to, let's say, orange, dark orange. Okay. Now, I don't have a layers panel open here. It makes it a little harder to see if you don't have a layers panel to look at. And I'm looking, I don't remember if this just doesn't show the layout. Okay, that's not what I want. Edit, undo. This works a little different than the Cricut. It doesn't have a layers panel. You know where these are because you can move them up and down as if they were in a layers panel. If there's a layers panel near, I just haven't used it in a long time and I don't know. So let's select one of these rectangles. and shift down and select one of the ovals. Now I've just selected one, and I'm going to go over here to where it says open the modify panel. There it is. And right here it says subtract. I'm subtracting the top from the bottom. There we go. And you see now we have the other rectangle. So I'm going to hit off and then hit that rectangle, hold my shift key down, select the other or oval and subtract. And you'll see now that they're cut exactly the same. That's wonderful. Love that. It's not hard to do either. Now I'm going to go over here to the align panel. Right here where it has a circle arrow, hit that, and you see where it says 90 degrees? This one here is selected. I'm going to hit 90 degrees. Now it's turned 90 degrees. This one here, I have it selected. I need it to turn the opposite way. And you can see by the rectangle and the arrow which way it's going to turn. Select that. And guess what? I now have a piece that fits exactly where the other one does. But to make sure it's perfect, I need to select both of them, hit align, and align at the top again. Okay. Now, here's the problem with seeing it like this. If if you end up with a line in the middle when you weld this together, you didn't actually put them on top of each other so that they could weld into one piece. There's a cutting line there. So right now I feel like they're touching each other, but they're not on each other. I'm going to hit Control. Oops, no, that's not the one I want to hit. Sorry. I'm going to drag this over just a bit. Right now it's still set to snap to grid. I don't want it to snap to grid either. Let's see if it'll weld nicely this way. Select both of these, go down to the modify and hit weld. See, it left a line there. That is not what we want to do. Edit, undo, weld. Okay. Now, what I need it to do is stop snapping to grid. And I need to find out where that is. Multiple undo, copy. Select all. Let's see here. By the way, here is someplace you can change your print resolution. If you're doing foiling on cut, print and cuts, right here is where you increase your DPI for that. It makes it really nice when you're doing that. Let's see. Page orientation, blade, center. Maybe that tells you what size everything is. Work, tools, updates. See, it's not in the preferences. I'm sorry. Sorry this is taking so long, but I want to find where it will snap to grid, and I don't want it to snap to grid. Let's see this one here. Show grid, show guides, there. It's under page setup. You want to unselect snap to grid because we don't want it to snap to the grid. It'll go over a whole 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to select this and I'm going to go over just a little bit. And I can see it doing that on my screen. Maybe you can't see it, but it is overlapping the other one now. Now I want to select both of these. And now I will go to weld. And you see there's no weld line between there now. That's perfect. That's exactly the way I want it. Now I want to rotate it again. And I don't know why it won't do that either. I am not helping you guys, am I? Well, I kind of am. Anyway, this is your card base, and you need a score line here. I'm going to take this line tool, and it's selected as a straight line. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hold my shift down and poke it right there and pull it down to there. And you notice it's dashed. So the line is correct. Now I want to change the color of it to this color. And then I want to group it together. In Cricut, there's an attach. I think there's an attach in this program as well, but I'm not sure where it is. Let's see here. And where we want that to be at is right in the middle. So I'm going to hit this zoom in, and it's not right in the middle right now. I need to move it over. Selecting both of them right now. I just want the score line. Need it right in the middle. There we go. That's good. Now we're going to zoom out again. I told you I'm not as familiar. I used to use this program all the time, and I don't have a big cutter. I have the portrait size, so I don't use this as much as I do other programs. I design in Illustrator, which is my favorite. I know how to use these, but once in a while it takes me a little longer to figure out what and where something is. So there's the page setup. And group is, that's well, that's offset. Let's pop up. It has amazed me over the years how different all the programs can be. And they're using different software effects. Like the cut line on this can be totally separated from the shape, the fill color. And in some programs, if you have the fill on and the color for the line, it'll cut two lines right there. And so I tend to like it to just have one. If it's a shape, the outside cuts. So this software actually stems back farther than some of the other softwares do. There are newer additions, some changes, things like that. And that makes it nice to, oh, there's duplicate. Still be okay. Let's see here. Where is the group feature? That's the pixel line. No. Colors, lines. What's this? Trace, image effects panel, font maker, alignment, transform panel, which means that it aligns, it rotates, it shears, moves, and it scales things. That's not what I want. Replicate panel. Well, set. And it used to be in some of these, if you hit your right mouse button, you could group something quite easily, group and ungroup. And here it allows you, there it is. I found it. So there it's grouped. So those two will stay together. And now you have your card front, which if we rotate it, and it's not letting us do that way. Remember, if you can't rotate it with the buttons, you can always rotate it with the green dot up here. You can turn it around. And usually if you line it up with the lines, they're pretty straight like that. And then if you need it to come forward, you just arrange it by bringing it forward. Let's see here. Bring to front. There we go. So now you see it lays over the fold a little bit, but you've got your shaped card. I'm sorry I fiddled too much. I'm just trying to show you you can't do anything wrong when you try something because you can always go up here and get edit, undo. That's the best way to learn what you're doing is to try it. Just try it. Um, by the way, score lines are usually red in most programs, so if you turn them red and you make them dashed, they'll know what it is. It's supposed to be a score line, not a cut line. I hope this helps people. I'm sorry I was so ditzy today. It's been a long week for me. I fell the other day, so this took a while. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking this out. I appreciate you stopping by and happy crafting.